Welcome to this video on the results grid within ledger balances. The information displayed in the results grid comes from selecting the year for which you wish to review the balances for all client ledgers, and any further filtering that's been applied to return only the information that you wish to analyse. The information you are viewing in the grid is the position of the ledgers for the selected year as at today's date. The results grid is split into three sections. The left-hand section, which is to the left of this thin grey line, is the processing area. In order to process the record, I send an email reminder, the record must be selected. And this can be done by clicking into the box in the first selection column, like that, or by highlighting the rows and using the Shift or Control key. Then right click and select highlighted rows. How to process emails is covered in the Ledger Management Sending a Reminder video. And once the reminder has been processed, the date of the latest communication is recorded in this last com date here. Columns in this section are fixed and cannot be dragged off the grid. The middle section is the user-defined area, and the user can reorder columns if they want on here. And using the column selector, you can drag columns on to the list and drag columns off as applicable to arrive at their preferred view. The right-hand section, which is to the right of this thin grey line, is the key information area. The columns are preset in this area, and although they can be dragged off, they go back into place if the application is closed. The flow of these columns are designed to present the best view of the information. So I've closed my screen up a bit so I can fit some relevant information onto the screen so we can give a proper overview of the information that we're seeing. I've actually dragged on from the column selector this return status column. When the return is at a status of inactive or at WIP, we don't at that point have a reliable RIT figure, so it's the provisional amounts that we're interested in, and that's why these figures in the provisional columns are displayed in bold. So the columns are provisional original due, prov offsets and the prov balance. So as we see, that inactive is showing there in bold. When the return is at a status of locked and above, and it is the RIT figures that are important to us, and that's why these figures are then displayed in bold. So if we look at the example I've got there, we've got one that's closed and underneath the columns, so we've got RIT, we've got RIT offsets, and we've got the RIT balance. So if we look at this example here, we'll drill into the ledger, see how it works. So the prov original total was 107,120, so that's three provisional totals here. The prov offset, I'm just going to pull this down so we can see it. Not very well, but it says prov offset is 74,516, which is the amount paid here. And then we have the prov balance, which is the total of the provs less what's been paid. And that gives a total there of 32,604. So we'll just close that up and we'll have a look at one of these that has been closed. So I'll actually just click off the line so we can read it properly. We've got RIT of 18,558, there's RIT offsets of 6,983, leaving a balance of 11,575.68. So here's that information in the tax return. Here's our RIT figure of 18,558. If I just go up to the ledger, change that to 2018. So here's our two RIT values that have been paid, which make the offset value of 6983, leaving us with the RIT balance of 11575. Any payments obviously made against terminal tax will show here in the RIT balance. The audit trail works exactly the same way as the 901 application. So we haven't as yet done any actions here in the ledger balances. I sent a reminder, but we can see any actions that have taken place in the 901 in relation to this particular client. And any notes made in the 901 application can also be viewed in here, and you can of course add your own notes in and around ledger balances as well. So here's a previous note. I can go ahead and just type in information in here. So everything is viewable in the one screen.